Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Khushamdi. Ji ayanu. Goedemorgen.
Pacheiragale, ni hao, churushume, washmale, ohai, gizaimis, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifahal, hale shabachatore, ahlan wasalan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, swabia, bhalli kare aaya. And a very amazing warm welcome to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World This Morning alongside the very fantastic, the very superb, the very exuberating Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan on a very rainy Friday morning over here in Islamabad. Hello Shiza, how are you doing today?
Absolutely great. And because of the very fact that it's raining over here in Islamabad, I absolutely love the view. I didn't feel like coming to work actually,
Really?
but I think I'm
Thank
going to
God.
enjoy afterwards as well. What about you? How are you feeling?
Well, I think I feel great too as well, and there are a couple of reasons for that. Number one, obviously, ladies and gentlemen, that you're going to miss me for the next 20
Oh,
days
yeah.
after today, and it's because of the fact that I'll be globetrotting. But other than that, I think I'm happy for another fact, and that is that today I was supposed to leave for Lahore, and I wasn't able to because of the fact that PSL finally comes
Oh,
back home as well, and
yes.
all the matches are in Rawalpindi. So a lot of my friends who were supposed to accompany me to Lahore for this wedding of one of my friends, they were very adamant of the fact that, we really need to watch the match first and then leave.
Okay.
And then I was like, this cannot really happen. But then eventually it's raining today, so I don't know whether the match is going to take place or not. But the match last night was very crazy as well, which
Yeah,
was
what
in
happened? Tell
between.
me all about it.
I think it was great. So it was Islamabad United and it was Quetta Gladiators. Quetta Gladiators won from 3 wickets, and it's because of the fact that they've got some amazing batsmen. Jason Roy is there as well, and I think that Jason Roy is one of those people who was very. He played a very crucial role when England actually won the World Cup too as well. But other
Oh.
than that, ladies and gentlemen, the best part is that the tickets are not available anymore, and which means that PSL
How
has
is
been
that the
very
best
well
part? Oh, yeah,
because
of
PSL has been
course.
very well received by the audiences over here in Pakistan, and Pakistan being a cricketing nation, I think has done a wonderful job. And I would love to thank and congratulate the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Imran Khan, because it was his vision to bring PSL entirely to Pakistan. And I think that PCB, Mr. Imran Khan or Mr. Ahsan Mani, everybody's done a great job. You guys are
Absolutely.
phenomenal.
Absolutely. Congratulations to all Pakistanis for this. Because Shazad, ever since PSL started,
Yep.
a lot of people, including me, were wondering that I wish all the matches were taking place in
Yep.
Pakistan.
Yep. Yep.
Because if it is a Pakistani thing, then everyone should at least have all the opportunities and the rights to enjoy.
Exactly.
But speaking of the things happening in Pakistan.
Rights to enjoy. Yeah. Let's pick up on this.
All right. So speaking of the things happening in Pakistan, Shazad, actually not only in Pakistan, in more than 12 to 15 countries all around the globe, actually, there's a very unfortunate epidemic going on. It's called the coronavirus disease, which is getting so popular and common among so many nations, so many countries and cities that unfortunately it crossed our borders as well. And it is now here. We have 2 confirmed cases so
Yes.
far.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, do not panic. And this is what your government is telling you too. Before Shazad, we dig, deeper into what is happening in terms of, people who are bearing this virus. One thing, it's a good news actually. 97% of the people who do, sort of develop this actually recover fully.
Yeah,
So there's hope.
Yeah, exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think you did the right research as well, and I'm going to come from the other end, and
All
that is
right.
that there's only 2% fatality rate. So, I think that for everybody, I think Shiza said it rightly as well, that there's no need to panic, and I think there's need for people to be more aware of what to do actually
Yes.
because, ladies and gentlemen, the symptoms will come later on, so
Yeah.
you'll have the virus, and then the symptoms will show up after 2 weeks or 3 weeks time as well. So there's this research which came in from Singapore as well. I've got the article with me, I can share it. So all you have to do is, for people to check whether they have the virus or not. So you just take in a deep breath,
Yeah.
hold it for 10 seconds, and if you can hold it for 10 seconds and you're not going to cough or you do not have any other difficulty, that means that your lungs do not have fibrosis.
Right.
And that's the main disease, that you actually are unable to breathe as well. And God forbid, if you feel a little bit of problem, get yourself scanned.
So here's the thing, Shazad, a lot of people all around us, actually, of course, because of safety, we are looking towards buying face masks because we do want to sort of avoid contact with anyone who is contaminated.
Yeah.
Did you get yourself one?
Well, I think it's a very different story. First of all, I wanted one mask for myself because I'll be traveling, but then I was like, okay, I've got kids at my place as well. So the only number of masks which was available at the pharmacy where I went was 2, and so the
Oh.
people at my place are 6. So it couldn't be this way that I'm wearing a mask and I've left
Of
other
course.
people to probably catch the virus, God forbid. But being an elder son, I think this is how you think culturally as well.
Right.
But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, there's one more thing which is very disturbing, and that is that for that N95 mask, which was supposed to be for 60 rupees, people are selling it for 990 rupees. And I can bet you on this that for all of those people who are doing this have got a special place in hell. And
Absolutely,
yeah, it's going to come
absolutely.
this way as well. We're going to actually share a number where you can actually report if there's a pharmacy not selling the mask or actually selling it on a very higher price.
Right. So here's the thing. A lot of people, a lot of my class fellows, actually my family in Bay Area DHA side, they said that all the pharmacies are sold out on masks. So of course, and I actually received some videos of people going to these pharmacies and where the sellers are telling them the price that is $9.99 or even in some cases $1,100.
used to be
Imagine
for
that
60
a
rupees,
mask. Imagine that. But well, I think credit's due where it's due as well, Shazad. Shaheen chemists actually were selling masks for free.
The ones selling, yeah, they were just giving it
Oh
away
yeah,
for free.
of course, which is a very good gesture. A lot of people should actually come forward and learn from this.
Exactly. So very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, it's our responsibility to make you aware. So I think in the first place, for everybody who's out there, I know that we have a trend of, hugging each other, kissing each other, or probably shaking hands and whatnot. So I think everybody needs to stop with it for a while because
Okay.
everybody needs to understand. Because yeah, we do not even for all of those people who just get flu, I've been telling them that you are not supposed to shake hands with anybody else because that's how you get flu as well. Other than that, what you really need to do is that if there's a person who's actually got coronavirus, if God forbid they're going to sneeze, first of all, people do not sneeze with your mouths open in front of other people as
Please
well. That's
don't.
disgusting
It's
in the
common
first place.
decency as
That's
well.
not ethical and that's not decent. And please make sure that you do not even put your hand. The right way to do it is to put your elbow somewhere here and just sneeze so that nobody else gets the after effects of what you actually did.
Right,
Yeah,
absolutely.
please make sure. And yeah, just wash your hands on a regular basis. Make sure that you have a sanitizer with you. And God forbid, if there has been a drop onto your hand or somewhere else, just wipe it off. Don't touch it somewhere else, and that's it. I think this is something which people need to know. Do not shake hands. हाथ ना मिलाइए. बेशक किसी से कोई नाराज होता है होने दें. जब वायरस खत्म हो जाएगा, हम फिर उनको जाके जप्पी देके मना लेंगे.
Exactly. So in this hour of panic, ladies and gentlemen, we are all together, and this is the time we need to stay positive.
Yeah.
And this is actually also what we are talking about
Yeah.
today, right, Shazad? Being positive in all the adversaries that life throws at you, in all the situations that you will come across, because life is not a bed of roses,
Yeah.
and no single person on earth will tell you that everything was smooth for them. There are so many difficulties that one person may go through, Shazad.
Yeah.
People don't even know. I don't know why you're laughing though.
I'm laughing because last night when I was actually preparing for the topic and I was like, okay, I think I should read a few articles and whatnot. And then I was
Alright.
like, okay, I've lived my life for 32 years and it's not just that every day was a very sunny, bright day for me.
Exactly.
So I should actually speak about all my experiences as well. And I think that when you speak about your own experiences, it becomes very relatable. But there's this one thing which I believe in, and that is that either you're born positive or either you're born sad. And I'm sorry to say this, but I think whether you're born sad or happy, you can change either way as well. And I think that there are people who are actually going to let us know how all of this happens and how you really stay contented and positive in your life. And now my producer is like that, you've
Stop
got guests
talking.
over here, they need to speak about it as well.
Let's do it.
So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, this lady whom I'm going to introduce, I think I'm going to have the best time of my life, and it's because of the fact that she used to be my boss's boss, and now she's finally
We're
here.
so excited.
And not that our boss knows that she's here, but yes, we are fortunate enough. And then we, towards the end of the show, we might even ask her a few questions about our boss too as well. Ladies and gentlemen, she's got a vast experience in pretty much everything. She's spent her life in England for the last 20 years. She's a motivational speaker. She's an entrepreneur. She is an advisor for Commonwealth Women as well. And yeah, the list just keeps on going. So she's very apt in telling us how to live a very positive and a healthy life. She's none other than Ms. Iram Masood. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Assalam. I can't reply in all the languages you said, but moving forward, thank you for having me here.
Thank you
Our
very
pleasure,
much for
ma'am.
joining us. It's wonderful to have you alongside Ms. Iram. Ladies and gentlemen, we have once again been joined by somebody who's a very regular on the show, and he always makes sure that he's going to show up whenever we invite him. We're very thankful, and ladies and gentlemen, he's a motivational speaker. He's an analyst himself. He's none other than Mr. Muhammad Abdul Wahab Saab. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you?
Walaikum Assalam. I'm fine, and thanks for keep inviting me.
Thank you
so
very much. Thank
It's
you
our
very much for
pleasure.
joining us. It's wonderful to have you. And last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, the last time she was here on the show was a year ago. And we're definitely going to ask her how's her work going so far. But she's a clinical psychologist. She's none other than Miss Ruma Shahid. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Walaikum assalam, good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have
Thank
you.
you for
So,
having me again.
you know, ma'am, I'm going to start the conversation with you.
Yeah.
You know, just a simple good morning, a smiley good morning, somebody tells it to somebody else. Do you think that it's going to have a very positive impact on that? Or somebody would be like, Pakistan hai na yaar, shoda hi ho gaya subah subah.
Okay, so you actually, it's not about how you get up in the morning, it's how you feel when you
Yeah.
get up. So yes, positive and a smile, obviously. So there's a circular about and I think about 15 years ago, as the head of the department, I had these terms and conditions before hiring a person.
Yep.
And that was like, the person should have a smart personality. If it's a girl, she should be very beautiful. If it's a man, he should smile. So, you know, you can differentiate how it went. But yes, indeed.
I can get a job with that.
Yes, you can. And so can Shizra.
Yeah,
Because
alhamdulillah.
she's had a smile all through her life. I think that's what I can notice right now. But moving back
true.
to the question you said, yes, positive mindset is something which people have. It's like you said something nice. People are actually born with the same mindset. It's how they feel and how they want to move ahead with that. So I think moving forward on a positive day is to have a nice cup of tea and move forward with that.
Yeah.
So that brings a lot of positivity. So whatever you need to do the first thing in the morning should actually be that kickstart.
Yeah.
All right.
And
While
that is
I
a cup of tea for you.
That is a cup
Or
of
a cup
tea
of
for
coffee.
me. No, cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
But I have
For
to
us, I think.
but I have to make that tea.
Oh, you don't trust
Yeah.
anyone else's
No,
tea.
Yeah, we're
not in
talking
the
about
morning.
England over here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
All right. But
Oh
here's
yeah,
the
for
thing,
the next
ma'am.
20 days, I think I'll have to do
You'll
my
have to
chores
do it
as
as
well.
well.
Yeah, just
But Ma'am Iram, while I do agree with most of the things you said, I think I will have to agree with Shazad over here as well, where you said in the beginning that some people are naturally, you know, in terms of their nature, in terms of how they're, I don't know, brought up or the environment they grew up in, they're either positive or they're either not. But here's the thing, for the people that are not born happy and they struggle to maintain their lives as a positive person, that is actually the biggest struggle. Do you agree with that? And do you think that actually, like, let me ask you, would you agree with Shazad or would you agree with Ma'am Iram over here?
Well, the thing is, you know, I mean, both types of people exist.
Of course.
When we say what is positivity, it's an attitude,
Okay.
it's a mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people who are negative minded, but the thing is, they always have a room
To grow.
to really work on their negativity.
Okay.
I mean, once they are always in the company of positive people, they do get a tendency or they do get a sort of pressure. They should also try to be positive.
Okay.
Because one way or the other way, all negative people, they understand, they know that positivity really pays.
Of course.
You see, for example, if you have to define positivity,
Yeah.
when you look at the face of Shehzad, you will always say he's a positive person. He's always smiling,
Thank you very much.
laughing,
Yeah, early in the morning.
and making people cheer. You know, I mean, when, for example, if I come here, I might be a bit sad or might have been influenced by some factor on the road, but when I see him, I forgot everything. The same applies to you as well. You see,
Thank
most
you.
of the time you're smiling, but he's smiling all the time.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. So are you saying positivity is contagious?
Yes, you
Okay,
can say.
I like
And
that.
negativity as well.
Oh, yeah.
The
of
thing
course.
is,
vibes are contagious actually. Your energies are contagious.
You see, the thing is, usually we behave when we we get addressed or we interact. If a person who is interacting with you has a positive mindset and he's smiling,
Yeah.
you are perforce compelled to smile.
Yeah.
Right.
But when a person has pulled a long face and addresses you, you sort of get a feeling that, oh my goodness, I mean, how to handle?
How
you
do
know,
I
so
respond?
usually, somehow, in a way, you also come across the feeling of having a pulled face.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So
Makes
that's
sense.
it is contagious.
No, I do
Thank
agree
you very
with
much
that.
for saying that. And before I move on to Ruma, you know, just a question for you. And so, you know, you just mentioned that, you know, there are people who actually pull a long face. But then there are people, I'm going to relate it with a very simple example, and that is that, you know, at times we're at a traffic signal and it shows that there's a red light as well and there's a green light as well. You know, it's not working properly. What do you do in that situation? When there's a red
Mixed
light as well and then
signals.
there's a green light as well. What do we do then? You know, so partially you're positive as well and partially you're negative. यार तुम बात कर रही मेरे से नहीं कर रही लेकिन मैं कर भी रही हूँ.
You see, as I mentioned, it's a mindset. It's an attitude. So we have to learn that in no conditions we have to get irritated. We have to get provoked. In a way, we have to have acceptance
I
of
think I
negativity.
haven't given you the right way. Okay, let me, since you're a married guy yourself, so what I'm going to ask you is, जब कभी भाभी कहती हैं, आप उनसे पूछते हैं, आप गुस्सा है मेरे से? नहीं. Everybody knows the reaction. Or you are like that to her.
Yeah.
So उसमें कहाँ से positivity lie? Where do you think one can actually get positivity out of it when the other person is not willing to tell you whether he's happy or not, or whether he's sad or not, or she is?
In a way, you have to accept facts. You have to accept the other person as he or she is.
Okay.
And when it comes to relationship of husband and wife, usually you know each other's mood swings. You see, you know each other very well. You might have done something irritating, which she knows, but you are pretending perhaps you don't know, right? So of course, I mean, the way she is going to respond, you will understand.
Okay.
The same happens vice versa. You see, you want to ask, for example, you want to have the best cup of tea, which you can't prepare and she can prepare, and she is not in the right mood, and then you have to have a very personalized way of convincing her.
Wow. You're a
One
smart
should know how to convince.
Exactly.
You're a smart man. But moving on to the psychologist here now. Roma, what do you feel about positivity? Is it a choice? Is it, let's say, a lifestyle? Is it something innate?
Right. So first of all, I'm going to add on to what Shahzad said, that, see, I believe that you cannot always be either truly happy or truly sad, right?
Okay.
We are all a mixture of both of them, right? It's not that we do strive for satisfaction and happiness, but happiness is not a destination, right? It's a process.
It's a journey.
Yes. So we have to find satisfaction and happiness in the process. Okay. Now, having that said, I also believe that the way we identify ourselves is the way we see the society, right? And which means that we are creating our society, right?
Or vice versa.
Exactly. Yes. Now, with a positive mindset, right? It's if we are positive within, that's how we're gonna see the society, right? And that's how we're gonna interact with people. But on the other hand, if there's negativity within ourselves, then that's how we're gonna see our society.
Exactly.
So we basically are a reflection of how we see the society. Okay. So there's not really, human beings are like in between. We're not truly happy. We're not truly sad. There's always a mixture. There's a balance, and there should be a balance between happiness and sadness.
Yeah. I mean, you just can't be happy every time as well.
Exactly.
People be like crazy ho gaya.
That does make sense. But here's the thing, ma'am, I actually want to get to all the, speaking specifically of our society and the environment, the setup that we are in. Let's talk about the factors that actually, may make someone go beyond their senses and, forget about all the positivity. So there are people, let's talk about workspace first of all. There are people who might be bitter, nature-wise, every other day. And you wonder, I'm smiling to that person every day. I'm greeting them. I'm being so nice to them. How come I receive bitterness in response? So you don't know where a person is coming from, first of all. When you say that anyone or everyone can be happy or positive, so we don't know, again, where a person is coming from. So if a person has just lost his job, he has a whole family to feed, does not know where to, make the ends meet, make possible all the resources for the family to live, how can you tell him to wake up every morning with a smiling face?
Well, I would agree something to which Roma said, that it is within. So like before this backstage, when Shahzad had actually mentioned that if somebody had died and you wake, but I think life is all about celebrating. I may not fully agree with both my guest speakers, no offense, but the point which Roma added was very true in a way that you can connect. So like when people come to you on a sad day, that is a sad day for them. So it's not about that, they just woke up with that feeling that it's just a sad day. Yes, losing a job, losing somebody you have loved. Celebrate the person you've lost, cherish the memory, so it becomes very positive. Losing a job is sometimes an opportunity for that person to grow. So if you look at it in that perspective, it actually makes that person feel that yes, maybe I can do somewhere better. So like my Egyptian boss used to say that if you stay at a job for more than 2 years, either you are not growing or the company is not growing. So you know, you actually see how things are moving on. So it's a very positive thing. When I mentor kids like you guys, and I just think that it is very positive, because today's teenager is much loyal to themselves than my generation was. So today's kids don't lie. Today's teenagers don't lie. And yes, I do feel that they have a lot of, senseless direction at times. They're not focused where they're leading to. And the positive impact in their life is that they love themselves. So, you know, loving yourself, I love myself. So, you know, I always feel that if I love myself, I can always do good to others. If I can do something for myself, I can do something for you.
So the next question I was going to throw, you already answered. Here's the thing, you know, the perspective you were speaking about, how to actually, you know, make memories happy and everything. You answered that because it comes to that individual. When we talk about today's youth, ladies and gentlemen, it is definitely so much more different than, let's say, our parents were or our grandparents were. Because as a society, we were collectivistic more than we are today. I can't say we're entirely individualistic now, but like you said, teenagers, the people who are getting educated or, you know, being exposed to the world are actually growing and realizing that my life is about me. So why don't I choose to be either happy or sad?
Very true.
So I think while that is a very good approach, some people unfortunately are still sort of stuck in that, I don't know what to call it, but abyss that they cannot really come out of, because they're answerable or responsible for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more people. It's not just them. So, you know, coming to you, Mr. Abdul Wahab, when we talk about perspective, okay, someone might be having a bad day. Let's say you had a bad day or a bad morning.
God forbid.
But yeah, God forbid. But you don't have the right to ruin anyone else's day. You know, this is not a justification.
You're not going to throw
your nature,
no garbage onto somebody else.
your nature over what happened to you, your tragedy is not a justification to ruin someone else's day. But people do that.
Exactly. Basically, that's an area we are lacking training. You know, educational institutions have got so many responsibilities. Unfortunately, they're only sort of teaching text.
It's all theoretical.
Exactly. It has to be a part of sort of training, how you have to behave in various environments, conditions. For example, if you have been afflicted with the tragedy, it's your personal affair. It's not going to deal with others. And for example, you're going to university, you're going to office, and you have an environment where people are. So basically, you have to adopt a standard behavior. I mean, nobody's asking you to be very jolly because you just came across a tragedy. So try to adopt a standard, reasonable, positive behavior, which sort of doesn't, for example, I mean, you were sad and you don't want to be happy. So try to be in between both of.
Okay, you know, in connection to that, Ms. Roma, this is going to be for you. I'm going to give you an example over here. And I think that the very foundation of ours is not 100% correct. And there's a reason for that. You know, since you mentioned about the household as well, I mean, if we go back 2 generations back where it was my grandfather, I don't think that my father was even allowed to talk in front of him of all of those issues. And now we can actually say whatever we feel like to our parents, where you said that these days the generations don't lie. But let me be very honest. I think that, you know, early morning I wake up, you know, I dress up and I show up at work. By the end of the month when I get paid, it makes me happy. You know, I go to a store, I buy something I like, I buy it, it makes me happy. So the very foundation of doing everything is to get to happiness. Don't you think that we're wrong here?
We strive for happiness. Is that the right approach?
Every day?
Well, every day, that's what we should wake up with. At least hope to be a little positive, if not eternally happy. And see how Sir also mentioned that it should start from school, but I think it should start from the house, from the household, especially from the parents.
I was never happy to go to school.
Especially from the parents and the mom. See, what happens these days is that if your mom is upset about something, right, she gets mad at you, and she, in return, you know, you get kicked out, or well, not out of the house, but you do get, you know, scolded and stuff,
Right.
just because mom is mad,
Right.
or you did something, and you know, or maybe she's having a bad day and that's why she's giving it to you now. I think that's where parents should be careful about. I think they should be more understanding. If they do it to their kids, that's what they're going to learn, and this is the kind of, you know, they're going to lack positivity in that case, right? And they're going to carry this negativity inside them, and that's what they're going to spread, right? So I
Yeah,
think
that
that's
does make
important.
sense. It begins at home. That is absolutely true. But ladies and gentlemen, I believe everyone should be, you know, have the capability to at least give some space to people for whatever they're going through, Shahzad. But are we supposed to abandon totally a person who does not want to interact anymore, who's in a bad space, who's, you know, being negative about things because he went through something? Or should we actually forcefully lend help to him? Now, these are some of the things that we will definitely be discussing, but right now we're on to a very short break. Stay tuned to find out more. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sarangi is a bowed, short-necked string instrument from subcontinent, which is used in Pakistani classical music. Its flexible tunability and its ability to produce a large play of tonal color and emotional nuance makes it unique. Carved from a single block of wood, the sarangi has a box-like shape with 3 hollow chambers called stomach, chest and brain. It's usually around 2 feet long and around 6 inches wide. It has 3 melody strings and 11 to 37 sympathetically vibrating metal strings.
Young girls in the beautiful valley of Kashmir sing and dance to the soft and lyrical music. Please enjoy the Kashmiri dance.
On a very positive note, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For everybody who just got tuned into PTV while you watching World this morning alongside Chiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually trying to make sure that we let people know how to be very positive and happy in life. Even though that it's easier said than done. But yeah, we
Exactly.
do have experts over here who are going to actually let us know how exactly. But since we're only left with the last 10, 12 minutes, I think that I'm going to give you an example of my own. And it was very hard for me to recover from that situation. And eventually, because I was always praying to Allah that give me a lot of work. You know, I might not need that much money because I thought to myself that, you know, when I'll work a lot, I'll get money anyways. So to work a lot, I actually had to sacrifice on my socializing time, which makes sure that I'm not seeing a lot of my friends. And then a lot of my friends and people have to say a lot of things, or, you know, you're a celebrity now and this and that, and everybody. Normally this happens in Pakistan.
Yeah.
And eventually they decided not to see me because I wasn't available for them. And I was very stressed that, you know, that there are these group of people I've grown up with, and now there's a certain shift in my career and they're not ready to understand it. And I was very sad for those couple of days, but then I eventually realized, you know, if it is for me and I'm doing it for myself, so why should I even bother about
They don't
somebody else?
deserve your
Do
sadness.
Do you think that to be bothered about somebody, whether they're coming or not, or talking or not, is the right thing to do because it makes you sad?
Okay, let's change the word bother to concern.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it becomes much easier. And then choose something like, if they want to see you, ask them to switch on the TV, man. They can watch it on, if they want to really meet you. Today, how many times do you actually call up people? You just do WhatsApp. So life has to be easy and for people to understand. I have a career as well as a social life which relates to each other. So I meet the same people in the morning, same people in the afternoon, 3 times a day, shake well before
Lucky
you
you,
use. So
yeah.
it's like, it just works in that way.
Okay.
So it just comes naturally. And the reason probably your generation would be like, hame time nahi dete, ya they don't have any, you've changed, like she was just mentioning. That's a journal standard thing. But, you know, saying no sometimes, it's the best way to move forward because then it enables you to say yes next time.
Yeah, yeah. That's
And
good.
it's so
Thank you very much for
important.
saying
And
that.
it's, exactly. What do you feel about this, Mr. Abdul Wahab?
In fact, you know, what I want to say is usually there are 2 layers of friends. One, sincere most trustworthy, fastest friends. The second layer is your colleagues, those I mean who you come across in daily life. Somehow you develop associations and relationships.
Okay.
So I must say the first layer, sincere most, you should never lose them. If you're busy, let them know you are busy. But at the same time, for example, if you are giving them time every day, try to spare some time after a month, right? Let them know that you are busy, that's why you are not giving time. Let them know
But you
that,
care for them.
Yeah?
But you care for them.
You care for them. So giving them time once a month will let them know that he's busy. In spite of his all that business, he still cares about us and he is giving us time.
Yeah.
And because those friends, you will value them in your later part of life.
Yeah. So I think Roma over here will have a very different picture to
The
share with
psychologist.
us. Because psychologically, it does have an impact on people, you know, the
course.
group of people you were roaming around with.
Yeah, yeah.
Or, you know, the circle you socialize in. They do have an impact, which is why there are people who say that it totally depends on the kind of company you have.
That's
Or it
true.
can be other ways that a company is actually known by the people it keeps as well. But how does it work then, you know, and how do you think that one can actually strengthen from within and then move forward on their own? Because in life, this is something I've learned, that whatever you're going to do, you have to do it yourself.
Yourself,
Absolutely.
absolutely, yeah. See, when we're talking about being assertive and being able to say no to people, I think it's also important to educate other people how to accept that assertiveness in a positive way. There's so many things happening around us, and we want to play like an important role in staying positive. But at the end of the day, people are failing to do that, right? So the best thing that we can do is to find out the things that we have control over or the things that we influence, right?
Okay.
And how we can do this is that I get so many people coming up to me and being like, you know, I want to do something about my life, but there's nothing in my control, right? Or the area that's in my control is very small, right? It's very tiny. And this is where I tell them that even if it's like a little bit or even if it's like a dot, just fix that, okay, right? And stay positive in that area And just imagine when there's so many people trying to fix those little dots and then we connect them, that's going to bring about a huge change
Yes.
at a societal level and at a national level, and it goes beyond. So I think this is how we can educate people in working on something that's under their control, and I think that's how we can stay more positive.
And I've always talked about it as well. And there's one more thing, and that is, over here in Pakistan, we're not trained in such a way while we are growing up, because people over here do not recognize their emotions. If there's an emotion, if there's somebody who's sad, oh, chal putar koi nahi. This very culture, I think, have actually made sure that people are going to be stressed, because chal putar koi nahi is not a solution. You're not even recognizing an emotion from within.
Exactly.
How do you
Acknowledge
think
it.
you will feel? So how important it is for anybody, because we are humans, it's normal to be sad, to cry, to be happy, to be joyous.
That is
But
true.
we recognize the emotion of joy, we recognize the emotion of happiness. But when it comes down to sadness or being lethargic or being very lazy or whatever, so whatever the brain says, you're like, oh, nahi yaar, koi masla nahi. So, how do we manage that?
And it's also attached with some gender roles over here that, if you're a guy, you're not supposed to be crying or being sad or
Feel low at all.
exactly, yeah. But if you're a female, there are different types of expectations from you. But again, it all comes back to educating everybody to understand that you need to feel your emotions and let them out. That's the most important thing, to just let them out and to feel peace within inside you.
Right, absolutely. Now, Roma, one thing you mentioned, and I think it's very important to highlight again, I think all of us spoke about it, how you are actually the driver of your own life. So, a lot of people, Shahzad, who go into existential crisis, wondering and pondering upon the question of why and why they are here and the purpose of their life. One thing I think we all come to one point that we came here alone and we're going to leave alone. So maybe that is the biggest message from your, creator, that everything that comes in your life, you have to deal with it alone. But how to be prepared for it is the actual question. Some people are naturally good at it. Some people really don't know how to go about it. Now, Ma'am Iram, you mentioned that after quite some years of being in the corporate sector, you realize that teaching and imparting the knowledge that you have already is actually quite a great feeling. So how would you teach people to actually take charge of their own life?
Well, like people like you, I take a lot of inspiration from my younger colleagues, my students, my mentees, because every time I look at them, I take away something, like she said. So you actually do take away that one positive thing and then you build it over. So like when people tell me I'm multitasking, that's the first no from my end, because I would rather be good at one thing, make it better and improvise,
Right.
and that brings a lot of positivity into. So teaching is probably the best thing. So as a marketing and branding and management teacher, I'm visiting faculty at 2 of the institutions. I've learned that every time I speak to my students or my audience in that way, they will always say, oh wow, you're a good teacher, but I tell them that I'm not a teacher.
Oh.
I'm a professional. So there's a difference between, but what I teach, so the best teacher is what she takes away by learning. So you have to learn every day. So as a teacher, I rather not teach, but learn every day.
That's
and
amazing.
that brings a lot of positivity into my brain.
And it's great. And I think that, since we're only left with 5 more minutes now, so I think everybody needs to give their hacks towards life. So now I'll start, and then you have to give a hack, and everybody else too as well. So ladies and gentlemen, for me, there's only one thing, and I've worked on that rule, and that is that, there are things which are under my control, and I can attend to them. And if I'm not going to attend to them, that's my fault. But then there are things which are beyond my control, which is obviously controlled by Allah Almighty as well. So I'm not going to stress about it, because if it will be Allah's will, it'll happen. If it won't, it won't. So I don't think that there'll be anything to be sad about it, because Allah jo karta hai wo sabke bhale ke liye karta hai. That's the rule. So whatever is in your capacity, make sure that you attend to it in the first place.
Absolutely. Well, my rule is be there for anyone and everyone who's in need, for people who won't even, say to you, for people who are not courageous enough to call out for help. Be there for them. But for yourself, you are your only person. There was actually, it's a lyric from one of DJ Khaled's raps, and it says, when they give you their shoulder, never cry on him. When they love you to death, never die on them. You are the one that, that is going to lead your life. And one more thing that I live by, Shahzad, when you laugh, the world will laugh with you. But when you snore, you sleep alone. So I think that matters. What about you?
Exactly. Wow.
Okay, so I would agree to some bits which Shahzad said, to save time and wrap it up in a second, is that Yes, we do have to come out and speak. People think that I'm a very strong woman, but I also get weak. I don't show that. I do get sad. Nobody ever comes and asks me, "Aap aaj muskura nahi rahi?" Because मैं वैसे ही मुस्कुरा रही होती हूँ. But nobody has ever made an effort to come and ask me if I need something or if I'm sad. So I do agree. And then now that you've added, so there's a very nice line which from Nescafe that जी ले अपनी जिंदगी हो जा मस्त मलंग तू. So that is the best way to live.
Exactly.
जी ले अपनी जिंदगी हो जा मस्त मलंग तू. There you go. Okay,
Well,
what about you, sir?
I believe in what can't be cured must be endured.
Yeah.
You see, I mean, you have a lot of negativity around you, so let not others influence you. Rather, you influence others with your positivity, and always think positively. Always thank Allah that He has created you with all abilities.
Yeah.
You can breathe, you can eat, you can drink, you can walk, you can sleep. There are so many people who can't do that.
Yeah.
Go to hospitals and you will realize the misery the people are in.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
in order to remain positive, one has to always thank God, and one has to know what blessings of Allah are with you.
Exactly. Thank you very much for
Thank
such
you.
wise words. What about you, Roma?
Right. So I just want to end by saying that we're going to have some good days and bad days. Sometimes we're going to have more bad days than good ones, right? But just keep moving. Just fly, or if you can't fly, just run. If you can't run, just walk. Or if you can't even walk, just crawl. But just keep moving.
Exactly.
Right?
Thank you very much for saying that. And ladies and gentlemen, towards the end, I think there's one thing I'm going to say in Punjabi too as well. So it's from back in the day, in my university, when I got this ill habit of smoking cigarettes. And I went back home, and my father kind of figured it out that, I've started to smoke cigarettes. So then eventually, ladies and gentlemen, what happened was that my father made me sit down. He was like, Putter, lokan de piche nahi lagi da, lokan nu piche like that. Which actually means that you actually need to be the beacon for other people rather than you picking up stuff from other people as well. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has actually, I think, instilled a characteristic of leadership in me as well, where you can now sacrifice for yourself as well and for other people as well. And once you start to sacrifice, you realize the happiness which lies within sacrifice.
Absolutely. That's actually really beautiful, Shahzad. Thank you so much for being here. You amazing, amazing people. I really love the vibes that I collected early in the morning, and I, plan to further this positivity as well. Because Shahzad, no matter what issues you go through, if you look at it from larger perspective in the realm of the universe, your issues are so minor. You are literally no one in the universe. So why do you have to bother about something that really does not matter in a larger realm?
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, Jummah Mubarak to everyone watching. Please remember Shahzad, me, my entire team in your prayers as well. Everyone going through any sort of situation in life, pray for everyone. Pray for all the Muslim brethren all around the world as well. Write us on our Facebook page with the name of
Well, this morning it's on your television screens just down there.
on Twitter,
Well, this morning without a G,
Daily Motion on YouTube,
PTB World.
and the repeat you can catch at
11 p.m. tonight. Till the next time, 1, 2, 3. Good
Good morning.
morning.
Be positive.